My name is Kim N. I'm the president of Dunes-Calumet Audubon. And we've got ourselves live streaming now. Thank you all for joining us. I'm really looking forward to today's presentation in just 1 week. We'll be having our native plant sale at the Indiana Dunes Birding Festival Migration Marketplace. You don't have to be registered for the festival to come to the marketplace and get some bird-friendly plants for your backyard. Loyce Fandrei, who is a past board member of Dunes-Calumet Audubon, is honored to, we are honored that she has agreed to, I always get distracted by the chats, to talk to us about native plants. She has been growing native plants for, well, you know, for just a few years, since she was just a young thing.
I'm still young,
has
right?
lots of knowledge about the plants and is willing to share her knowledge with us. So we're very thankful for that. If you're not a member and you're joining us for the first time, we encourage you to check out our website and join as a chapter only member for $15, or you can join as a National Audubon member and get their magazine for $20. So our territory is Lake and Porter County, and most of Porter County. And we like to go out birding. And so you'll see on our website and our Facebook that we have increased our number of bird walks. And of course, not in May because we've got the Big Bird Festival coming up, but there'll be some more in June. And at the end of the program, we'll tell you about the next, the program coming up in June too. So if there's no other business to be taken care of, I think we will turn it over to Loyce so we can hear some more about these very interesting plants. Let's see, where are we?
Do I just push the green share screen button?
Hang on. I'm going to make you a co-host, and then you're going to press your green button. There we go. Okay. Take it away, Loyce.
How's that? Can you see that?
We do see native plants.
All right, let me
I think
try
you just have
to
to get it to the right.
Yeah, I have to. There we go.
Yay.
All right. Okay. Native plants. Dunes Birding Festival, as Kim already said, May 12th through the 15th. We're going to be out there from 11 until 4, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and 11 until 2. Is that correct?
That's correct. And
on
if people
Sunday
have questions, do you want them to raise their hand, put the question in the chat for afterwards, or while you're talking about a plant?
Well, I've got my thing so that I can't see anybody. So
okay. Then we'll ask people to put their questions in the chat, and then we'll come up with them whenever you're ready for questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Or I can, I can say, does anybody have a question after a plant or whatever? If you were with us last year, some of this is going to be the same if you can remember from a whole year ago. We do have some of the same plants for sale, and we have some new ones for a variety of reasons. Either we didn't have they weren't available to us, or we just wanted to try and make your gardens a little more diverse. So we've got a nice selection for you this year. Native plant is a plant that naturally occurs in a specific area. So plants that are native in the Midwest might not be the same as plants that are native down south or out east or out west. Okay, so that's something unique to our particular area. One of the questions you always hear is, what's the big deal? Why do we want to plant native? Well, the main reason for me is that I don't have to worry about watering my garden near as often. Now, maybe late July, August, I might have to give them some water if we are not getting any rain at all. But natives are pretty much accustomed to where they grew up, so where they have been living for centuries. So they're accustomed to whatever the climate is for that area. So they don't necessarily need to be watered. And as a matter of fact, some native plants, if you overwater them, it's not good for them. Okay, so that's a good thing, because if you're like me, I'm doing other things. I don't want to spend all my time with the hose in my hand out watering my garden. Another good thing is that they are resistant to the weather. If we live here close to Chicago and we're getting plants that are from this general location, then those plants should be able to withstand any kind of weather that the weather is going to throw at us, and they're going to come back year after year. So that's another good reason why we want to grow local native. We don't want to get a native plant from, oh, I don't know, maybe even Kentucky, because they may not be as resistant to the cold as something that's more in our local area. So we get our plants from, right now, Cardinal, which is in Walkerton, Indiana. So it's, in our area. Native plants are generally more resistant to disease. They're more resistant to drought. They spread easily, not hopefully too easily. There are some native plants that are very aggressive, but you learn how to deal with that if you would have one of those. And they help keep the soil rich, because that's what they're there for. It's kind of like a symbiotic relationship between if you can have one between soil and plants. I'm not sure you can do that, but they're there. They replenish the soil, and then the soil then is there for the plants. A lot of natural habitats these days, there's a lot of areas that are replanting areas, restoration. Gibson Woods, where I work, they've gone through restoration. They've taken out non-natives. The first couple of years, they brought in people. Cardinal was one of them, I believe, and they put plugs in or sprinkled seed to try and reestablish what used to be at Gibson Woods, because they looked at the previous plant lists from whenever they first had them in the 1980s. And so they picked those plants and planted those seeds. So we're seeing the fruits of that in these last couple of years. The products of the plants, the fruit, the nectar, the nuts, the seeds, are all food sources for not only birds that eat those things, or squirrels or rodents, but for the insects. And if we are supplying the insects with the native plants that they have a relationship with, then we're going to get the birds that feed on those insects. So that's one of the important things about native plants, is that the relationships that the insects have with the native plants helps us bring in the native birds that are going to feed off of that. So it's all just a big food web, of course. I say rarely invasive, because most natives get along with each other. They don't compete. There are some native plants that are very aggressive. Years ago, I learned that if this one particular person in Wild Ones told me that a plant was phenomenal, I needed to not buy it, because it was, it spread easily. I had wild golden glow, which gets like 6-7 feet tall. And I had a nice little mound, and the next year it was 3 feet wide. And then the next year it took over a whole area in my backyard. So needless to say, I don't have wild golden glow anymore. So, but the plants that we're selling are not like that. So you're rarely going to have an invasive plant. They're all used to being around each other so that they give each other space. So they're not going to compete with each other. You generally don't have to use fertilizers or pesticides on your native plants. I never fertilize my gardens. I was a gardener before I was a wild one, so I didn't use fertilizers even then. The plants just seem to do well where, if it's not a place where they're getting along well, then I move it to another place in my yard and try to figure out where it needs to be. So I don't fertilize. The insects that would feast on those plants are probably the ones that do it in the wild. So you generally don't want to put pesticides on your plants, because then if they're eating or if they're getting sick off of those pesticides, and then birds are going to come and eat those insects, you don't want that. So it's best just to leave them the way they are anyway. But anyway, I don't think it's necessary to put pesticides on your plants. And if you don't have to fertilize either, and you don't have to do a lot of extra watering, you save money in the long run. Big picture then, insects are adapted to feeding on native plants. So then the insects are there for the birds. Even if a bird is a seed eater, they're going to feed their young insects. So insects are important. So we need the plants that those insects are going to have a relationship with and be on, so that the birds will be able to feed their babies, because without little babies, are we going to have more birds? No. So it's very important, I think, that we give the whole, the food web starts with the plants. So we want to make sure that we're giving a good base to the food web in our yard. This year we have 15 plants that are going to be bare root plants. We're going to sell them at $4 a piece. We do have one species that's in a quart-sized container. We only have 10 of those, and those will be $12 a piece, and I'll talk about those in a minute. So then the sale that we're going to have this year would be 14 plants for $50. So you're getting a $6 break if you buy 14 total plants. We've already talked about the dates: Thursday, May 12th through Saturday, the 14th, 11 to 4, Sunday from 11 to 2. And then one other thing, I was just trying to brainstorm what kind of things were issues last year. We need to think about, when we buy plants, where we're going to put them. If we're going off to do a birding field trip, where are you going to have your plants for the day? Is it your car going to be hot? Maybe you need to wait and buy them, later in the day. Maybe you need to bring a box to hold the plants in your car for transport, so they're not going to fall all over the place. And then I believe we're taking cash and credit with the little square thing. Kim, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Cash
Okay.
or credit.
Okay, so let's see what we're going to be selling. The big money item this year is the great white trillium. Mine are blooming right now in my yard. So you're seeing a white flower with a big green leaf. They bloom late April to May. They're not a tall plant. 9 to 18, I've never seen an 18-inch tall one in my yard anyway, but my soil's probably not the best. They like dappled shade, rich to loamy soil. That's not really where I have mine, but they seem to do all right in the spot that I give them. They don't really attract birds because they're such an early plant, but they do provide cover for plants. And of course, all insects, they want whatever they can get. So any bird that feeds on insects would, of course, be attracted to them, and they could possibly be browsed by deer. I have witnessed that in my yard as well. So these are going to go for $12 a piece, and we have only 10 of them. So it's first come, first serve on those trilliums. But again, if you like the early spring type flowers, they do spread. So, you get one and the next year you might have a little mound of them. Next plant, I kind of organized this according to the calendar. So woodland phlox, Phlox divaricata is the next plant on our list. It is also blooming right now in my yard. It is a cute, small, purplish, lavender, bluish kind of color. And it spreads nicely. It doesn't take over, but every year that where I put them, my mound is just a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And it blooms the same time the violets do, which is like right now. So it's a very nice plant. I'm excited that we're going to be selling this plant this year. I love this plant. It's small. The book says 1 to 1.5 feet tall. I'm going to say at least 12 inches. I don't know that it's going 18 inches tall in my yard. But I have it in a place where it gets partial sun. So and this time of year, there's no leaves out. So you get whatever you get, but mine's on the side of a garage. And it does very, very nicely there. A lot of different kinds of soil. I've got some in my front yard. I've got some in the backyard, which are two totally different environments. So I think you could have this in your yard and you would love it. And it's going to be one of those that every year, as long as you're watering it come August, when it gets really dry, it'll come back for you year after year. I did find one thing where it said vulnerable to habitat destruction and garlic mustard. So garlic mustard is very aggressive and it probably just chokes out the plant. So if you don't have garlic mustard in your yard, you probably don't have to worry about that. But the early insects love it. Okay, hummingbirds might favor it. I've never had a problem with deer eating my woodland phlox, even though the information that I found said that they may. But I've never had that, and I have deer in my yard every year, so I think we're safe with that one. Wild columbine we had last year, always a good staple in the yard. Red on the outside, that yellow center. Bloom time is May to June. And a good, strong, healthy plant could get 2.5, 3 feet tall. Mine never get that tall, probably because I don't take care of them. But they just are there. They come back year after year. And they're kind of an airy plant. Some of the cultivars of columbine are big, bushy plants where the wild columbine is just a very airy, and you get these stalks coming up with the red, and it's just beautiful. And the hummingbirds do come to the columbine. So full sun to part shade, medium soil, could be sandy, loamy. So, they're going to grow just about anywhere. I do get volunteers from seed. So that's always a pleasant surprise to find them in the yard. And the seed heads later towards summer are always good for the seed eaters in your yard. Another one from last year that was a good seller was the common spiderwort, or Ohio spiderwort, widow's tears, they call it. It is one of those like day flowers where each flower blooms for a day, but you can see from here that there's just tons of buds on it, and it just grows, or for quite a long time. You're going to have blooms on it. I grew up calling it snot flower because if you break the stem, it oozes the gook out of it. And we used to throw it at each other, you know, so it was just a fun plant that we had in my yard growing up. But the purple blue flowers are just gorgeous. And it does reseed, and you can get, you know, them coming in weird places in your yard. You wonder, how did it get there? But it could have been from a bird or whatever. But you just dig them up and put them where you want them, and you'll have them. And they can get 2 to 3 feet tall. Sometimes they'll fall over a little bit if they're not in an area where they can get a little bit of support by other flowers that are around them. But mine just kind of just stay where they're at. You know, I don't have too much of a problem with them falling over. So full sun to part shade. I've got some in very full sun, and I've got some in part shade also, and they both are doing just fine. Dry to medium soil, which means you can put them just almost anywhere. Butterflies, moths, bees, love them. Again, any bird that feeds off of insects are going to be attracted to the plant as well. Snail damage I've never seen, but I put it here because that's what the information says, and I, you know, want to be honest with you guys. I've not had deer or rabbits eat my spiderwort. Sometimes I wish they would, but I don't. So, but it's a beautiful, tall, the leaves are kind of grassy looking. So it's just a really nice plant to have in your yard. Pale purple coneflower is a new plant for us this year. They did not have purple coneflowers available, and so we chose this one. Pale purple coneflower has this huge reddish brown center, kind of like the purple coneflower does, but the petals all are down below. And when I see them at Gibson Woods, it's like a fireworks, you know, because they're long and thin petals coming out on these tall stalks, and you usually only get one flower per stalk, but your mound grows every year, so you're going to have a nice display in a couple of years. Those flowers are huge, 3 to 5 inches in diameter, and they will get 2 to 3 feet tall. So you might, if you have a small space, put it towards the back. They like full sun, average to dry soil. Yeah, this is one of the ones, if you give them too much water, they're going to flop over because they like it just a little bit on the dry side. And one of the things that I read said that their crowns are susceptible to too much cold. And if you want to make sure that they come back the next year, either don't, some people like to cut back their gardens. I don't. I always do that in the spring so that the crowns of all of the plants are being sheltered, you might say, by the leaves and stuff that are there. But throw some extra whatever on top of them, you know, extra leaves or whatever. Don't smother them, but, you know, just make sure that their crowns are covered for the winter time, and then they'll be fine. I've not had them in my yard, but they are at Gibson Woods and I see them, and it's something that I've always wanted. So I'm excited that we're having this year because I probably will buy a couple. Wild lupin. I don't think we had this before, did we?
No, we did not have this before.
I didn't think we did. I didn't put new on it because I wasn't sure if we had it the first year or not. But wild lupin is a blue purple. It's in the pea family. Nitrogen fixer. If you're a biology person, they will produce their own nitrogen, you know, into the soil. Bloom time May to July. 1 to 2.5 feet tall. I have seen some pretty tall ones out at Gibson Woods. it says full to partial sun, but I have seen them on the path in some pretty shady places. So I think you could be safe putting them anywhere. They kind of like sandy soil. So some people have a hard time getting them to grow. I could not get them to grow in my yard. I do not have sandy soil. They like it a little on the acidic side. It is the host for the Carner blue caterpillars. That's where they lay their eggs, and the caterpillars are eating the plant. And last thing I read is that they believe the Carner blue has been extirpated from our area. They're not finding it in the locations where it used to be in the dunes and a couple other places. But it doesn't hurt to have that plant around. You never know, right? So, and it's a beautiful plant. I love the look of any pea plant, you know, anything in the pea family. They're just beautiful flowers. And if you like to see them, Douglas Center always has tons of them over there. I've seen them. I haven't been out this year. I don't know if they're up, but Oak Ridge Prairie in Griffith used to have a huge area that was full of lupins also. But if you've got the right kind of soil, that would be a great addition to your garden. Butterfly weed we had last year. We're so lucky we get to have this plant this year. We asked for it. It was not available. And then it became available. So it's one of my favorite plants. Of course, all butterfly, or what do I want to say? I don't want to say, thank you. All milkweed plants are host plants for the monarch butterfly. Butterfly weed gets to be about 1 to 2 feet tall. I don't get seedlings. Some people do. I have grown them from seed. You just take these seed pods and hold on to the fluff and pull that off. You've got your seeds. And I just put them in pots in January, and I left my pots sit outside. And by May, I had plants. And in July, I went on vacation. And in the meantime, the butterflies came and laid eggs on all of my plants. And I came back to stalks because they ate them. They ate up all my seedlings because I didn't put them someplace to get them protected. So I learned a lesson. But yes, they are a host plant for those stinking little caterpillars. But they make a nice clump. They don't like to be transplanted. I will tell you, I wish I would have taken a picture. I dug up one a couple of years ago because I didn't want it where it was. And I was always told they do not like to be transplanted. Well, I found out why. The root was like a tree root, a big woody ball in the ground that was huge compared to the size of the plant. So I kept digging in. I kept hitting something hard, and I realized that was the whole root. It was probably a plant that had been there 7, 8 years, but the root was at least 8 inches across and just a big ball. It just looked like a big chunk of wood. So I had to just pick that whole thing up and go put the whole thing where I wanted it. And it did come back. It took a year, but it survived what I did to it. But try to find a place where you like it. It blooms in June, July. So if you've got other plants that are something purple, that might be blooming a lot, that times it would pair up really nicely with that. Clumps could be 1 to 2 feet. They do, come out, and some of the end pieces might flop over a little bit, but generally the stalks are strong enough that they just stand, and that makes a really nice clump. If you have it in your yard already, I know you probably love it. And if you don't, then it certainly is a plant that you want to have. Whether the monarchs like it or not, you would like it because it's so pretty, especially if you like orange flowers, right? Faunal associations, anybody who's eating insects. They do get those milkweed bugs on them, as do the other milkweed plants. But then the birds come, and so they're picking on them all the time. So you're gonna, it's a good plant. You're gonna enjoy having that in your yard. Golden Alexanders is a new plant for us this year. I don't have this one in my yard. It is at Gibson Woods, in the Gibson Woods garden, and it is out in the fields as well. It's about 2 feet tall, nice stocky leaves, and then you have this pretty yellow, bright yellow umbel of little flowerets, umbellets, I guess they call them. Full sun to partial sun, light shade, lots of different soil types, but the yellow is just stunning, and it would be a wonderful addition to your gardens. Black swallow, it is in the carrot family, so black swallowtail caterpillars are going to feed on the leaves, so that would be a draw for me because I love black swallowtails. Other butterflies are going to feed on the nectar of the flowers as well. But this is a great addition for us to be able to offer you this year. Wild bergamot we offered last year. It is lavender. It's in the Monarda family, blooms from July kind of into September. It does get tall in the right places. In my front yard, which was dry and sunny, partial sun, I want to say, it could get up to 3 feet tall there. And if the soil's not quite right, and I'm not sure what that would be, because it'll take moist to dry soil, it would be just a little bit smaller perhaps. But full shade to part shade, medium soil, branches out. It's beautiful. It has a nice smell to it, because Monardas are in the mint family. It's called Oswego tea. There's another name, wild bergamot.
Linda, somebody's
there
needs to be muted.
Linda McGinnis.
I'm trying to get rid of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Hi, Linda.
I think it's gone now.
Thanks.
Okay. Sorry.
That's all right. But I love wild bergamot. I have it in my front yard. I have it in my backyard. I like the spikiness of the petals. It's like I said, it's in the mint family, so it does have a little bit of a smell. Hummingbirds are going to love it. It says orioles. I don't know that we live in an area where orioles are going to come in the summer to it. I've never seen an oriole on it. Of course, I only see my orioles in the spring, and then they're in the neighbor's yard and they nest there and just come and steal all my jelly. And then they're gone and I don't see them the rest, like after July, I don't see them anymore. So, and that's just about when the bergamot comes out. But anyway, they give quite a list on the Audubon site. If you've not been on the Audubon site, there is a Plants for Birds site on the Audubon national website, and they'll give you the names, the list of, you type in your zip code and it tells you what plants are for your area, and you can look through that and see what's there and what kind of draw they might have for insects or whatever. That's a great place to go to get information. But anyway, it spreads. It's a traveler, which means it kind of travels under the ground and moves. Mine always moves like what I call forward. All right. So if I have it at the back of the garden, because it's getting 3 feet tall, pretty soon it's in the middle of my garden, and then I have to eventually dig it up and go put it back. But that's not a problem for me because that's part of gardening. You know, you like to be out in the garden anyway. But it spreads, it seeds. So I mean, it's a good one to have in your garden because it's an insect drawer. The bees and, you know, I mean, everybody loves a bergamot. So it's another wonderful plant to have. And we're glad to be able to offer that one as well. Showy Black-Eyed Susan we had last year as well. Yellow. It's Rudbeckia. So it's kind of the one that you might see in people's yards. They may have a cultivar of it, but the one we're selling is Rudbeckia fulgida, and it is a clump type plant. So it's there. It's might get 2 feet tall, full sun to part shade, average moisture. Dry sun will cause the leaves and flower heads to dry out, which is true. If you have it in the sun, it needs to be watered, but not overwatered. And it'll be one that comes back year after year. And again, the clump gets bigger every year, and it pairs well with all different kinds of other native plants. Brown-eyed Susan is new for us this year. This is Rudbeckia triloba. I love this flower. It's the flowers are smaller than the one we just saw, Fulgida, but it's more bushy. It's a little bit taller, and it seeds everywhere. So I have to, you know, move it to other places when I see them. But you will enjoy having it in your yard and putting it in new places as you find little seedlings come up. But the flowers are about 1.5 inches. Maybe some of them might get to be 2 inches across, but it's a deep yellow color, and it just is very, very pretty. So they call it a short-lived perennial. I used to consider it an annual because I would see it in a whole new spot the next year, but it comes up in the same spot, but you also get little seedlings coming up around it, because so if it only lasts 2 or 3 years, you're going to have plenty of seedlings to make up for that as the years progress. And bees and butterflies, everybody loves it. So if you're getting the insects, you're going to get the insectivore birds. I'm not going to say that right. That are going to come into your garden. Lavender hyssop is another new one for us this year. This one I'm excited about. I love the smell of lavender hyssop. It's kind of an anise scent. I love it. The bees get drunk on it is what I learned at a workshop that I went to. They just, something about the nectar kind of makes them a little woozy, I guess. I don't know. But the smell is wonderful. It's a beautiful flower. It also reseeds. Bloom time is throughout the summer, July to September. Mine never get more than 2 feet tall. So I don't know if they'll actually get to 3 feet or not. Full sun to part shade. Very drought resistant. They don't mind being in a dry spot, and they'll take up to a certain amount of moisture. So again, hummingbirds, I've seen hummingbirds on them, bees, butterflies, lots of bees. So it's a great plant to have. And if you like to walk by your garden and get a whiff of a great smell, then this is a plant that you want to have in your garden. Rough Blazing Star we had last year, always a good seller. The purple kind of, I don't know, what you can see what the flowers look like. But I like that look, you know, of just a ragged looking beautiful flower, pink to purple in color. Bloom time is August to September, so it's one of our later bloomers. Could get 2 to 4 feet tall. Mine, I only had in my yard a couple of years. I didn't really have them in a good spot. I think I had a little too much water in the area where I had put them, because it says they'll flop over in too rich a soil or too wet. And I think that was my issue. And so they didn't stay in my yard, but beautiful flowers, dry to rocky or sandy soil. It says less fertile, so you don't have to worry about them. A little bit on the acidic side. They seed nicely. As a matter of fact, the Liatris spicata that I had, and you could do the same with these, is I would take them after the seed heads were dry and just run my hand across, get all the seeds and sprinkle them right in the same area. And I would have all kinds of little babies come up from that. So they do seed nicely. So and I just did that in the fall, and then by spring, you know, they're coming up. You just have to make sure that they're in an area that you don't mow, because you're going to think they look like grass, because those first seed leaves that come up are just very grass-like. All of the blazing stars have that long, thin leaf. And the seeds are good for all those seed eaters, the finches and stuff that are out during that time of year. Probably your chipping sparrows and whoever else is out. Hummingbirds probably like the nectar. I never had a problem with deer or rabbits on them at all. It says they may, but I did not ever have that when I had them. Showy goldenrod is new for us this year. Please don't worry. This is not going to give you any allergy issues. That's the ragweed that does that. And goldenrods always get a bad name because they bloom at the same time. This is a bright yellow flower head, very, I want to say it looks kind of a stilby, like if you're a gardener other than native plants, because the flower head is all up at the top and it's really pretty. Blooms August to September. It says 1 to 5 feet tall. I've not had this particular one in my yard. I've had other solidagos in my yard, but not to the tune of 5 feet. So I can't attest to that. Partial shade. They may take a little bit more sun. Moist, rocky clay soil. So just about any soil type. Again, they are good for seeds in the fall for all kinds of birds that are around during that time of year. And when the migrants come down, I have had plants in my yard that the warblers, the yellow rooms, will come and just be all over. They're eating the insects, but they're on these plants. So they're a draw because the insects are there, and then they're there as well. So that was always, and the Nashville warblers as well. I have seen those eating the insects off of solidagos, other versions of solidago that I've had in my yard. Sky blue asters, another new one for us this year. Last year we had, smooth blue aster last year. So sky blue's a little bit brighter blue. August to October is the bloom time. Gets 1.5 to 3 feet tall. I've not had this one. I've had the smooth blue in my yard. So I've not had sky blue. So I will probably be tempted to pick up a couple of sky blue asters because I love asters. Full to partial sun, any type of soil. They're drought resistant. Great seed heads for the seed eaters. You're going to find lots of bees and butterflies on them. And it said that the foliage, the silvery checker spot, pearl crescent feed on the leaves. So that's the caterpillars that are going to be feeding on the leaves. And unfortunately, as with most asters, the deer and the rabbits love them. But, you know, you got to take the bitter with the sweet. And the sweetness is the beautiful flowers that you're getting in your garden. Prairie drop seed. I don't want to say last but not least, but I love prairie drop seed. You always need something in your garden that's going to be a place for your eye to rest. And what better place for it to rest than on a mounding, very fine grass that you don't have to worry if it's going to seed all over your yard. You can see the prairie drop seed is a beautiful mounding grass. The blades are very fine, and it just is like a fountain, and it's just gorgeous. It does get grass panicles on it that kind of stand above, making it 2 feet tall. At that point it says 2 to 4 feet, but my panicles never got that tall, or they don't get that tall, but they're just very airy seed heads on it. And then you can cut that. I always wait till spring and then I cut it back before it's going to bloom. In your yard, I suppose you could fire it, to get rid of the stuff if you're allowed to do that in your area. But it doesn't go crazy. I would buy 3 at least and make a little triangle of them. That's what I had in my yard. And then I moved them over to a different spot. But it's just gorgeous. I think, you're going to get a small bit, but in a couple of years, it's going to be gorgeous. And you will love it. It does like full sun. It doesn't really travel. I've never had one reseed. So it kind of just stays there and gets bigger and bigger every year. So it's a beautiful, beautiful plant. And you don't have to worry about the deer bothering it, which is always a good thing. So in the garden, you're going to generally never buy just one of something. I buy usually 3 of something so that I have a clump, and I space them, I don't know, however far apart, probably 12 inches apart, which, when they're young, you say, oh, I've got all that empty space, but you got to remember that they're going to grow. And sometimes if you have more than one of something, maybe you didn't plant it where it liked to be. So I like putting things in a couple different places in my yard to find out where does this plant want to live. And so that's always a good reason. That's always a good reason to plant, to buy a couple extras so that you can find out where it is that they're gonna like to be in your yard. Again, you want to give them space, so don't plant them, don't put all 3 of them in one big spot together, give them some room to grow. And try something new. We've got some new plants this year, and buy a couple and see how they do. You may decide that you really like them. As Kim already said, we're looking for volunteers to help. If you're interested in helping, you can either give her your email in chat, or it said in the note that you guys got in your email to email dunes.calumet@gmail.com if you're interested in helping. I'm sure they would appreciate any help. I'll be out there as well for Thursday and Friday afternoons. And we're looking forward to having a great time. I think that's all I got for you.
Well, thank you, Loyce. I do have a question. You
Yes,
did
ma'am.
talk a little bit about transplanting, moving some plants.
Mhm.
Can you do it during the growing season, or is it just the ones that you didn't mention that are temperamental? Can you do it just
I
like wild bergamot? Can I move it while it's growing?
move plants when it's convenient for me.
Oh,
If I'm working in my garden and I'm gonna weed and I've got some stragglers and I gotta get them together, I will water first thing in the morning and let all of the plants take up as much water as they need. And then when I dig them, they're already full of water, and I dig around them enough that I'm getting the whole plant. So you never just dig right next to the crown, because that's not where the roots are. The roots are making their way out away from it a little bit. So I dig around and kind of move the shovel up and down and shake it out of the ground. And then I have a pot ready to put it in until I get it to wherever I want it. But if the plant is full of water, and you're not shocking it by cutting the 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 root hairs around it, because the roots are in a mass right below the crown. We all know that, but they also feed out, and the parts of the roots that take in the water are the root hairs, which are at the very tips. So if you cut down too close to a plant, you're cutting off its source of water. So then it has to mend itself. So you're going to see a wilty plant for a week or two, because you've not dug far enough away from it. You know what I'm saying? All you plant
right,
people
right.
kind of, yeah.
So
So, but
give it
yes,
more
if I'm,
space when you're digging it up.
yes. And because I am an opportunistic gardener, if today's the day that I can go out and garden, then that's when the plant's going to get moved. So I just make sure that I water everything, go in, have a cup of tea, work someplace else for a while, and then give that plant enough time to soak up as much water as possible before I decide I'm going to move it. So yeah.
That's a great tip. Thank you. Because
Yeah.
I know I have some plants that need to be moved.
Yeah. So I think it's just keeping them to where they don't get shocked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do we have any other questions about the plants that we talked about, or any other plant related questions, bird friendly plant questions? Any questions there? Let's see. Well, several people are telling you good job.
Oh.
Yes, we know it. This was a wonderful presentation. I don't know if we have any questions from our Facebook group. I think some those haven't come through yet, so I don't know. Nothing
Matt
from
says,
Facebook.
Matt says
Okay.
nothing.
Thank you, Matt, for monitoring that for us. Well, I have one last screen to share with everybody, and that is our announcement about next. There it is. I don't know how to get that little thing off. So our next program is not until June 16th, and it's going to be about monitoring whippoorwills of the dunes. Libby Keys studied them last year and again this year throughout the dunes and the state park, the national park. And so she's going to be starting up again, banding them, putting little monitoring backpacks on them. So that's going to be a great program in June. And be sure to keep up on our website to find out about our field trip in June. And remember that you can always order merchandise through the link that is shown here, Dunes-Calumet at Threadless. And you can buy different things, t-shirts, sweatshirts, bags. And also, if you're shopping on Amazon, if you use smile.amazon.com, they, you know, for whatever you're buying, they donate, a few pennies here and there, and it all adds up to help out. So we appreciate you thinking about us when you are out shopping online. So thank you very much for viewing that. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who has joined us. And if you did already send in an email, I will be contacting you about helping us out with our native plants sale. We're very excited for that. So unless there's any last questions, I'll let you all get to bed early so you can get up tomorrow morning and look for some more birds.
Yay.
Indigo buntings and maybe some more warblers.
Yeah.
They don't seem to come through my yard, but I'm just as happy with my Baltimore Orioles coming to the oranges. And I did get a catbird
Yep.
and then all those crazy goldfinches. Yeah. So enjoy them also. So thank you everybody, and I'll let you click yourself out when you're ready. And thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Loyce.
Thank you.
Thanks, Loyce.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Great program.
Thanks.
Cookie Ferguson, I see you just popped on.
How are you?
There you are. Well, I see you in the ocean. I see your ocean, but not you. Oh,
Uh,
there you are.
Wait, there. Oh, that's my picture. I don't know.
Oh.
So how are you?
Oh, it's been quite a day. I will say that.
Is it really? Oh, I know what's wrong. Here I are.
There you are.
Here I
There
are.
you are. We still have a couple people still on. I
Cool.
did get to go see the Merlins that came
Oh,
up on the telegram.
oh, really?
Chesterton Park. A guy named Kevin Jones.
Oh,
And so I had an opportunity because I was in between a couple things. And so I stopped over there and he was there. And then I tried to put it on the telegram that, a second person has confirmed the
yeah.
presence. And I had it go on the guide.
Oh,
And Matt K texted me and said, did you mean to put this on there? I'm like, oh, no.
yeah. I know. Technology, ain't it great?
Yeah. And of course, I left without the scope, without the camera, and there was gorgeous sights of the female and the male. And then the male caught a bird,
Oh,
came
cool.
over near the female, and then flew to another tree and ate his bird.
Oh, wow. A
And then
starling, I hope.
I don't know. Didn't quite look like that, but let's see what Matt says.
Wow.
Oh, he gave me the numbers. So
Perfect.
so that was a fun part of my day. And then I spent a little bit too long time with my daughter-in-law.
Oh,
They are in a rough patch.
uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is he still
So
working?
he is still working and he's making more money now than he did previously.
Right.
But
Yeah.
she is thinking they're not making enough money. She's worried. He doesn't help out at home.
Yeah. Sounds kind of typical.
Yeah, and I think it's that time, you've got young kids, you don't seem to have enough money to do everything that you want to do, you're stressed out, etc.
But you just have to be patient. Do
Yeah,
what you can and be patient.
right. And so I was just trying to say, I don't know, I want to help, I want to support you guys, but and I don't want to tell you what to do because you kind of have to figure
Figure
that
that
out,
out. Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I spent a little too much time with her, and then I got over to the nature center to pack those family bags.
Oh, you did that today, huh?
I did all 100 bags.
Oh my gosh, did you have some help?
No,
No? Oh
Angela
gosh.
couldn't come. They
Huh.
were nice enough to let me stay in the building to finish, because at 4 o'clock they were
Out of there?
Um, so and I stayed till about 4:45. And then I got out to my car, the only car in the parking lot, and I had a flat tire.
Oh no, Kim.
Yeah.
How awful.
Ugh. Ugh.
And
So I
Eric
feel
is,
bad for the birds because they heard a mouthful.
oh man. Is Eric home so that he could come help?
He did come. He tried to help. We tried to do it, and finally we looked at each other and said, "We can't do this."
Oh,
Because you gotta, it comes out from underneath the car, and then we're trying to jack it up, but then it was kind of moving part of the car. And like,
yeah. Yeah.
so we left, told the person in the kiosk, and I'm gonna meet the tow company in the morning.
Tomorrow? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And here's the thing. They're supposed to be leaving around 12:30, 1 o'clock to go on their boys camping trip
That's what I thought. They're big fishing, camping,
Yeah.
whatever they do.
with the van.
Oh, man.
So I'm like, oh, so I'm just hoping that we get the car towed, take it to the tire place. The tire place will have the tire in stock, get it
Yeah.
fixed
Oh, man. By noon.
by noon.
Oh, no.
So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping that
Where are they going?
they're going up into Wisconsin
So,
to a part of the Kettle Moraine State Forest.
oh,
They
So
went
it'll take-
camping there.
that was where they went before?
Yes, same place
Oh,
where they
cool.
went before.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's got all the food and everything ready. Although I didn't get a chance to get him some graham crackers, but I'll get that in the morning,
Yeah. Oh,
in
yeah.
between my car stuff. So, whew,
Man. So tomorrow's filled up too. At least
until
in the
they
morning.
leave.
Yeah.
Until they leave and I can say bye.
Cool. I'm gonna do
Oh.
a, I have to do well, we were supposed to do a flower walk for Nancy Lakin.
Uh-huh.
She is part of a senior citizens group, I
Yes.
guess.
Yes.
She's afraid now. She's been texting. I didn't hear from her today. I'm amazed. She's decided now that it's too wet to take those people out there because there's a couple walkers involved.
Where were you gonna walk?
Here in Rookery, West Side.
Oh, ooh, yeah.
I know, to the river.
Okay.
That was the thought.
That's right.
But-
She did tell
'cause-
me about that.
That's where the flowers are,
Yeah.
And I guess they have somebody that lives fairly close. They could park at her house and she would van them down because there's no real parking there.
Right.
But now she's decided that we can't do that. She went out yesterday and took a few pictures, and I'm supposed to talk about that. And she's bringing in, it's not garlic mustard, but some pesto she makes from one of maybe ramps or leeks or something. And we're going to taste that.
So you're going to the spa?
Yeah. I have
Yeah,
to
'cause
talk
she
for a
talked to
half
me
an
on
hour.
Saturday. I saw her at the Earth Day and she told me to let her know by Wednesday if I wanted to do it.
Oh,
And then I was like, well, I kept thinking about, it's like my one day I didn't have anything planned.
yeah, right. See, yeah. Yeah.
So it's a good thing I didn't, but it sounded very interesting. She said they plan on doing it like every month.
Well,
this
it's just
Friday
too
thing.
bad because I think the flowers out there are gorgeous right now.
Yeah, but that first stretch, I keep saying, why
I
can't
know.
they do something?
Well, and I told her, there's that little bridge right there, right as you go in, maybe 20 feet or 30 feet from the beginning is a bridge to get over, 2 steps up and 2 steps down.
Yeah.
But she seemed to think that everybody could do that. But now it's too muddy. So now I
Yeah,
have
with
to
all the
just
rain
talk
we've
about it.
had, I agree. In fact, I think the better place would be Brink Across Gardens.
Oh, yeah, probably could do that.
I mean,
Hadn't
it
thought
may
about
not
that.
be quite as many flowers, but there's certainly a lot of flowering things.
Yeah, they
A
wouldn't
lot
be
of
all
non,
native though,
right, right.
you
That
know,
little place that we went to, what was that other little place? Richie? That
where,
one that was like tucked into that little neighborhood. Over, yeah. Gosh, I forgot how we got there too. But I think that, with with all the rain,
yeah,
that's the thing, things are gonna be muddy.
oh, sure. And older people, it's slippery mud. It'd be different if it were sandy mud, like the
Yeah,
sand absorbs all that. If we were climbing a sand dune or something, that'd be okay, but that's just mud, and,
yeah,
it won't be very good. But I
yeah.
had somebody come in the nature or in the visitor center, was it yesterday, and said they were out looking at the flowers and there were 21 varieties out there.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow, yeah.
there's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know when I'll get out there. I'm just,
I was gonna go this afternoon and then it poured rain all afternoon, so
yes.
I may go early tomorrow morning just to take a look and,
Mm.
but they don't, the spa doesn't have any hookup for any kind of a program or anything, so it'll just be
Oh,
talking off the cuff kind of thing, here's Nancy's pictures and
right. I'm trying to think if there's anything in the woods by them. May apples are coming up.
yeah, they're pretty well
Might
up.
see some marsh marigolds. I don't know.
I wonder yeah, maybe if we could just go outside on the deck on the spa,
Yeah, I don't know if the deck is feasible or not. I don't know if they
Yeah.
opened it up for people to go on the deck or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't been there in such a long time.
It's been a while when it's been
Yeah. Well, I tell
nice.
you, and I'm starting to get really overwhelmed.
Oh, man. I mean, I can't believe it's next week, number one. It's gonna be 80 degrees every day, number two. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I have to walk that silly trail 3 miles twice, Thursday and Friday. And then I'm over here in LaPorte on Saturday and Sunday at the Flora Richardson.
Well,
So
we're
I
gonna do
don't
our
know.
marsh monitoring on Tuesday morning.
Tuesday. And I told Libby I'd help her with whippoorwills Monday night at the nature center.
Yeah, I'm probably going to bow out from that.
I think I'm just
whippoorwill.
gonna bring a pillow and stay right in Chesterton.
I have a guest room,
I don't know. Might not be bad.
so let me know. Yeah, I told you that I could do that. So that's 7:30 p.m. on Monday, and I'm
Mhm.
thinking to myself,
Well,
I gotta
it
gotta
shouldn't
give
be
up
too
something.
long. And I have a whippoorwill walk on Thursday night. Now she's doing a whippoorwill program on Wednesday. I have a
Yeah.
walk on Thursday. I thought that was weird. If she's gonna do the whippoorwills, she ought to maybe do the whippoorwills. But anyway, that's my evening.
I feel like that was that a last minute addition? Her whippoorwill
Whippoorwills,
talk?
I don't know. I don't know if it was or
Because
not.
Wednesday night is kind of a weird night to put it in.
It is, yeah.
Is she
I
like
thought that
planning
was,
on doing something, then going out to listen for them or something?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. So
So and people that they're gonna be tired from their all day trips on Wednesday,
yeah.
but I'm
Is
working.
she doing it at the nature center?
I don't think so. I thought it was the visitor center, but I could be wrong.
Because the art exhibit opens on Wednesday night.
Oh, that's true. It does. I
So
don't know.
yeah,
Well, the art
I
exhibit wouldn't be in the theater though.
No, it wouldn't, but that'd be kind of weird.
They have two things going on.
Well, I think it would be weird.
Well, I'm working 11:30 to 8 that day. To sell
11:30
passes,
to 8.
to sell
8.
passes.
8 p.m.
Yeah,
Oh, it's probably not in the book. I think it's what it is. It's on the.
oh,
No, it
it's
is.
in it.
It's
Is
in
it?
there.
Huh,
8 to 9:30 at the visitor center.
okay. And then Monday night is at the state park, her email said.
Right. And I told her that I would go, but I was going to email her back and saying, if she's got enough help, I really have to bow out.
I don't know how many people she
I
has.
only saw John DeBaney answered.
Oh,
And
I
he said,
answered.
you're going. I didn't hear any, I didn't see any reply to alls from anybody else.
Well, I don't think you need a lot of people really, because you just need two people to hold the net.
Exactly. And when we had more than two people, I
What
felt
do you
like,
do? A
okay, what,
thumb.
yeah, what am
you're a
I
third
doing?
thumb.
So,
Yeah,
except for getting bit up by mosquitoes.
not yet, not yet.
Not yet, but back then, yeah. So as much
All
as I'd
this-
like to do it, I'm gonna have to. So,
Yeah.
well, and the good news is in the last couple of days, we've gotten lots of people who are volunteering to work the plant sale.
Oh,
So
good,
gotta work on that.
good.
Of course, I forgot that Matt K kind of has a pet peeve about getting his emails answered. When he
Oh.
sends an email out, he likes to
He
have
wants
an
an
answer.
answer.
He wants
Yeah.
an answer the same day. And I'll tell you, I was in Illinois until the 28th. He sent me an email on the 27th and I didn't answer it.
Oh,
So,
I think I saw that.
and he was asking about what's up with Audubon Great Lakes and their money. And then you saw that I sent out that they sent the contract.
Right.
I don't know if you got a chance to read everything they wrote.
Oh, yeah, I saw
They were-
Mandy didn't think we should do it. I thought he was upset about the get together too. It seemed like, that was the other thing. Well, we didn't agree to that. Well, we did not agree to it. I mean,
Well, and they were upset because it said co-host. What do you mean we're co-host? What does it mean we have to do? Have I ever asked you guys to do anything that you didn't want to do?
yeah,
All we
That's
were
why-
responsible for was I said I would get the location, reserve it. I sent all the information on to them. I think it was just, and I liked Matt, like you said, I liked Matt's answer because we're under no obligation to do anything as co-host. I think it was
Right.
just a courtesy on their part to say we're a co-host because they're holding it in our territory.
and I think it's good PR. I'm sorry, but I think it is. And when is it? Thursday night?
Friday, right before Birds and Brews.
Oh, okay. And where
And so
is it?
It's at Jill Sosimo's.
Okay.
so-
Oh, that's right. I did know that.
Yeah, so I kind of picked a place. I mean, we've got Val's already catering
Yeah.
Birds and Brew. Jill Sosimo's is just around the corner.
You might end up getting some pizza because last year I didn't get any pizza, I don't think, because they kind of ran out, at Birds and Brew.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's my dilemma too, is, of course, I'm not on my own. I got to go get Eric.
Yeah. Well,
You
Steve
know,
doesn't
so
go to
it's like-
Birds and Brew. Steve's just
doesn't
gonna go to the
Keynote?
dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Eric likes to go to the Birds and Brew.
Does he?
So I've got to kind of, okay, when are we finishing up with the plant sale? Get Eric, go to that.
Do
go
we have
that.
to move? Do we have to move all those plants out of there for that Birds and Brew?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Those plants have to move every single night.
Oh, and they're going where? To the garage?
Yes.
Oh, man.
So JP is going with me Monday afternoon to go get those plant racks from the Friends building.
Oh, okay. What are you gonna
I-
put them in?
His truck,
Oh, his truck. Okay.
his truck, his truck. He did it last year, so I thought, well, I'll ask him. First it was getting the Friends to say okay. Because then I started thinking, oh boy, Mandy's not going to be happy if I say that we've got to buy some folding up racks.
Yeah, no.
So that's
would-
going to work out. I've just got to finish all the little details. Got to get the bank bag, got to get the square thing all
Running.
up
Yeah.
and ready. Got to do the little papers that go with the little plants. Some signage.
Yeah, there's always something.
Finish out the sign up sheet with volunteers. And I'm not there every day at close. So I'm trying to think of what is our protocol gonna be for our money and stuff.
Yeah, how can we do that?
So I'm kind
Well-
of thinking, I got some ideas.
Honestly, I will be there, except maybe not Friday's Bird and Brew. Yes. So
Yes.
I'll be there every night. Well, yeah, because Thursday I have that night hike and we do the art class. So if we can figure a way for Thursday, Friday night I'll be there. I can take it. Saturday night I'll be there for Birds and Brew, or Friday night. Saturday night I work. I lead a hike in the morning and then I work at the visitor center during the day. So when they close that, I could take the money then. And I could even put it in the safe for the, whatever. And I can do it Sunday because I have to lead a hike Sunday and then work my day.
So
So
what time do you work on Friday morning?
Friday morning is an overtime. They're paying me overtime from 6 in the morning till 11 in the morning.
So you'll be at the visitor center at,
11:30 until, well, and that's my day off. So 11:30 until whenever, until Birds and Brew. I'll probably bird in the afternoon. What the heck? You know?
well, because if you take the money at night, you've got to be able to bring it back in the morning before they open.
Well, I'm there every morning for a hike if I can give it to somebody. Now, I know that they're gonna have somebody selling passes. Like Bethany starts at 5 o'clock in the morning. Thursday morning, maybe Wednesday morning. I think they have somebody there at 5 o'clock every day. So if it were in the visitor center, it wouldn't be a problem. Somebody be there. They could just pick it up.
Yeah.
I can double
Okay,
check that.
let me think about that because I
Okay.
have another idea. Because for the most part, uh, I'm thinking about just sort of like, putting at the bottom of whatever container has all of our stuff in it
Oh,
each
well,
day.
you know what you should do is start each day with, say, $100 and change, and then you take everything above that at the end of the
I'm
day.
I'm not there at the end of the day each day.
Oh, well, I'll take
Am I?
what's above $100 every day.
Okay. I
And
was
put it
thinking
in
the
the
same
safe.
thing, so that every morning it just starts off with the new amount
$100, and you can put that box with the $100 underneath all the stuff.
underneath everything.
Yeah, whatever you think,
All right.
150, whatever you
Yeah,
want to cash with, plenty
okay.
of change. Are we gonna do even numbers like $5 and
Four.
$10? Four? Well, so you gotta
4
deal with,
and 50 and 12.
so you've got to have
Gotta have the
change for it.
ones.
You gotta have ones, yeah. Yeah,
So yeah, we'll probably go like 100 to 150 maybe.
okay, but you better have 50s and 50 and ones or something,
Yes,
because you're gonna need ones like crazy.
yeah. So I gotta have like I need some quiet time
I know.
to like process all this and get this all ready. And so,
Better you than me.
but I'll let you know if there's any way that you can help out with this.
Okay, just let me know because,
Yeah.
like I said, I will be there every day, probably longer than anybody else.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah, I
dead in
have
a
to-
heap on Monday.
What?
I'll be dead in a heap on Monday.
Well, I won't be dead until Tuesday evening when I come back from the Kirtland Warbler trip.
Oh, that's right. You're going on that. Oh, you'll love that. I had somebody in in the visitor center yesterday, a birder. She wanted to know what the chances of seeing a Kirtland warbler, out in the park was. I said, well, probably not very good at this point. Yeah, but no, that'll be good. And I
Yeah.
don't have a day off then. I think it's Thursday, so I'll be just plugging along until,
Thursday
next
is a
Thursday.
long day for me because I do Brink Across, and then that wingspan
Are you gonna do
talk.
that?
is at 11:30,
Oh, man.
and then I'm going to be at the plant sale, and then I'm going to be painting my plover
Oh,
with
man.
Christina.
Is
and
that
then the
Friday?
That's well, she's doing it both Thursday and Friday.
Okay. I think I signed up for it for Thursday, but I'm not sure. Are you signed
I'm
up for
signed up for
Friday?
Thursday. I'm signed up for Thursday.
Oh, okay. All right. Then we're
Oh,
both
if you're
there.
signed up for Thursday, we'll be going together.
Yeah, and then I have to run back and lead a whippoorwill hike.
And I'm gonna do the wingspan game playing.
You know what? Are they playing the game or talking about it?
They're playing the game in the evening.
Oh man, that is the dumbest, weirdest. Maybe you'll like it, but we played it at oh, in January when the Audubon got together for their little thing. We played. Oh my God, it was awful.
Really?
I never understood how to do it, but I won because everybody helped me.
Oh, okay. Well,
You know.
we don't have any experts. I tried to play it by myself because
Oh
it says
yeah.
you can do that. Had no clue. Eric
No.
was not interested.
There's
Then,
too much stuff going on. I mean,
yeah, I got my sister. Was my sister playing? No, Lisa. Lisa played with me because I told her about how nobody wanted to play this game with me, and I got this big game night coming up.
yeah.
And we read through the directions, we played through it, so we kind of got an idea of how to do it. So I'm going to her house on Saturday,
Okay.
since the boys are all going to be gone, and she
True.
said, bring the game back and let's play it one more time
Oh,
before
okay.
you have your game thing. So I thought that was really nice of her. So I'm hoping to understand it just a little bit more.
Oh,
It's
good luck.
actually cuter than I thought the first time.
Really?
First time was very confusing when you do it because
Oh, it
because
was
with
very
another person
confusing.
we kind of talked it through. We're like, well, okay, we didn't do this part. Okay, let's do that the next.
Yeah.
So
Well,
and
maybe.
it's very much like some of those other games that my sister in California plays.
Oh, okay.
Not
Maybe I just didn't give it a chance, but it was so. Well, you can buy
Yeah.
an egg with this, and then you can have a nest with that. But that you have to do that in the third row, and then you have to do this and oh
Yes,
yeah.
that part was very confusing and it took us a while to get the hang of, oh, look at that. We've been doing that part wrong. Okay, let's do that the right way now. So that part, yeah, you got to get the hang of that. So
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
yeah.
Hmm.
So Tuesday, after we're done with marsh monitoring, I'm gonna go to Pinhook Bog and check that out.
Oh, is that open? Oh no, you're gonna go walk down
Uh,
there.
yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
pick up the key. And I think Eric said he'll go with me.
Okay. All right, we need to be done by 8 o'clock because I have
Yes.
to be at work.
That's what you said. So that's why we're meeting at 5:15.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, Soras and rails and swamp sparrows are back. Other than that, no. But
Yeah.
Julie led a hike down there at Coles Bog Saturday or Sunday, and she said they had a lot of good birds.
Yeah, Sunday. Yes, the people were ecstatic for that hike.
Yeah, they did a
They
great
loved it.
job. Yeah.
That was a big turnout. I mean, our
Yeah.
national park hikes have been really good.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
So
So that's good.
Yes, I'm glad that we're doing that. Gonna
Yeah.
keep that up.
Yeah, we should.
So-
Absolutely. Okay, my dear. I'll
So
let you get to work.
Are you gonna go out to dinner tomorrow night or are you just gonna stay home?
I don't know. You want
Alright.
to take time out or no? I mean, you've got so many things to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Although I miss you guys.
I know. I miss having you guys too. Well, Eric's going to
Yeah.
be gone, but
Yeah.
we could meet somewhere if you wanted to, but it's up to you. Maybe, I don't know. I'm pulled in two directions. Maybe you need to sit down and have a drink.
Yeah.
And then again,
Yeah, that could very well be. You
You
could
know.
be right about that. How are your little chicks doing?
oh my God, they're big. They're huge.
Oh, you have
I
to take
mean,
another picture.
They're getting, yeah. They're
Yeah.
just amazing little guys. They run around and they pretend, they fight at each other and fly. And yeah, they're
Now you
amazing.
check on them every day. Do you have to feed them every day?
Yeah, I feed them in the morning and the evening, probably why they're getting so big. But I go talk to them and a couple of them will come up to me And I'm not sure if it's good to corral them every day or, to try to talk, because I want to be able to, if I have to, medicate or something, they've got to be friendly,
So do you pick
So-
them up and?
A couple of them I can, but
Uh-huh.
they don't like it so much. They're too big for a bander's grip, I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you probably do have to keep practicing picking them up if you want to be able to
yeah.
do things for them.
And I have 12, and when I go down, I feed them worms twice a day out of my hand. So they come up and they'll eat the worms. But I have 3 that won't come up. And they just
Oh.
bother me because I'm a good person and I have worms. Why don't they come up and eat the worms, I don't know.
Oh my God. It's what we call those, it's the baby Jack chicks.
It must
No,
be.
baby Jack is from the Incredibles.
Uh-huh.
He like turns into this crazy laser eyes
my.
and
Yeah.
whatever.
You
So
should
that's what
see
we
'em.
used to call Amelia when she was little, because she just used to be like in the shopping cart just going, "Wah!"
Yeah. Yeah, that would be them. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
the 2 of the 3 that won't come up are the Rhode Island Reds that I bought. And I think
Oh.
they know that their cousins got eaten by a dog. I think they're holding that against me. And I still haven't talked to Sherry.
They're planning their revenge.
I think they must be. And I really should talk to Sherry because I need whatever she needs she knows more about chickens than I ever will. So, but yeah, but they've been fun. I've enjoyed them. Half an hour of sanity, or insanity, whichever way you look at it.
That's so cute.
Yeah, they are. They're amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
Okay. So let me just ask you real quickly, when you read that email that I sent about the contract, did you read what it said that they wanted us to do?
Well, honestly, I did not because I got it on my phone when I was at work, and that's so small. And I was going to do it
Yes.
when I got home, but then I forgot. But I
Okay.
can look at it, I mean,
Okay.
and I kind of feel like if we can't really do what they want us to do, then maybe we should wait a year. I mean, I thought Mandy's idea of doing what we can do this year and keeping track of things and then going back to them and saying, hey, we did this and
Right,
this and
right.
this, and
Yeah.
we'd have a better idea of what we could do, I think.
True. The
You
problem came in that they were still focused on what we had discussed for the
Mhm.
$1,500 that we were going to ask, and the things that we were going to do for that, and the time frames, and spending the money on those activities. And what I didn't explain to them is the fact that this does not come with any stipulations on how you spend your money.
See, that'll make a big difference to them, I think.
It's a little bit like when you did the Heron coordinator position.
Mm-hmm.
Now that one was expecting certain things. This is what this one says. Let me just read it to you real quick.
Okay.
Work to be performed. In spring, re-engage by organizing an orientation meeting with the trained monitor volunteers surveying shorebirds in Market Park.
Okay.
Number 2, plan 2 beach cleanups.
Okay.
3, begin to promote the shorebird project at the Miller Beach Farmers Market.
Okay.
4, build partnerships with local conservation organizations and the business community.
Sounds like we're doing that.
And the last one, plan local legislator or government official bird walks within Gary or state of Indiana officials / legislators, comma, National Park Superintendent and Gary Parks. So it's just having a bird walk with
Yeah.
somebody official.
Paul.
Yeah, it would be
Paul
nice to get Paul out there. Maybe we could get
Lebowitz.
somebody from one of the Gary districts or
Yeah.
a state legislator guy or somebody,
Well,
somebody.
we had him out. You had him out, not on the beach, but didn't he come out, that one guy you walked with last year? Wasn't that a legislature?
Yes, it was. It was, but that was orchestrated by Audubon Great Lakes. That wasn't
Okay.
at Miller Beach.
Okay,
So they got a little upset because they thought, well, where did this come from? Having a bird walk with all these people. And I thought that I had mentioned it when we talked about the things that we could do without the money. We weren't getting the collaborated grant money. We could still do our beach cleanups. We were
Well,
going to do
yeah.
this whole surveying, monitoring, in April and May, which
Right.
kind of fell apart for two reasons. One, how do you ask people to walk all the way from Marquette Park to Lake Street and then all the way down to the break wall?
Yeah,
It's
that's
too far.
forever. It is, it's too far.
So I wanted to get some access, and that's when I had the talk with Paul. And the wheels with Gary turns very slowly.
Well, they didn't even have it open for the beach cleanup, did they?
Right. And that's what Matt said. Well, why are we doing this? Because it's certainly, they don't really care if we're doing anything there.
Yeah,
Okay, but does that mean we should stop?
yeah,
I said, well, I'm kind of optimistic. I think that we should keep trying and, be faced with the problem and kind of work until we get a solution for it and go from there. And he said, well, we're realists. And we don't think, if they're not gonna, help us out, then we shouldn't do it.
yeah. I don't know.
So there's nothing here that I don't think we can. I think we can accomplish all this.
Yeah,
We'll throw up a Zoom the end of May, with our shorebird people, and kind of talk about the shorebird stuff again. We did plan a beach cleanup. Granted,
Yeah.
nobody came.
I'm sorry.
And maybe we can do better for the next one.
Yeah,
Because then Matt was saying, well, May 1st, I think the kids, the high school students who needed volunteer hours had to get them done in April.
well, and
Okay.
the weather was not very good, honestly. You
Yeah,
know,
the weather wasn't great. So,
it should have been better by May, but it was not.
and see, when you only do two, you got a 50-50
Yeah.
chance that you're going to have good weather.
Right,
Where like the Mermaid Straw people are doing it like the last Saturday of every month for 5 months.
yeah,
The Friends, Paul Stofko is doing his every, once a month for 4 months. So the odds are you could have a day there that has decent weather,
yeah,
even if you don't have, a lot of people every single time.
right.
And when I had talked to Isabella, she said, as long as your write-up happens before the invoice is due, even if some of these activities are going to be after the due date, that's okay.
Oh,
Like the beach cleanup. She knew there was going to be a spring beach cleanup and a fall beach cleanup. That's fine. Just, put that.
when
part
is
in
all,
summer.
when is all that due?
June 30th.
Okay, because you'll be gone most of June.
I'll be gone most of June, so I can't expect anything to happen while I'm gone.
Right, yeah,
So, and we won't really, the money will be coming in the next fiscal year. And that's
For
why they've got the
20
June 30th date.
2023, it'll be coming in?
Well, it'll be coming in, it's gonna be coming within 30 days of the receipt. So we'll get it in July, which is our new fiscal year.
Okay,
So remember, we go July,
right,
that's what's gonna happen at the board meeting. We're going to propose that we're gonna change our fiscal year from July to June. And we're gonna change it next year. So we're gonna have a budget from July to December. And then in January, we'll start a full year.
then we'll go January to December.
Yes. And we're
When's the
gonna
next
vote on
board
that.
meeting? When's the next board meeting?
The next board meeting is, I think it's like May 19th.
Oh, so we did our program like now, and then we'll do the board meeting at the end of the month.
Yeah, the
Okay.
third Thursday. We decided to swap them.
Okay,
So tomorrow I've got to send out information to all the board members, coordinators, letting them know that their reports are going to be due in. And with the festival coming up,
Yeah,
maybe you
got-
should get it ready beforehand.
correct. Got it.
So that's the other thing I have to do tomorrow.
Yes, after the tire.
After the tire. You know, and the Youth and Family Day is coming up. I've got some follow-ups on that.
Am I supposed to do a walk on Youth and Family Day? Because I think I did, and then I have to work, so I might have to clear it with somebody.
Well, that's a really good question.
Seemed like 1 o'clock, but I'm not sure.
You know, once we filled all that, I kind of forgot about it.
I have to remind somebody. I'm sure Kelly would cover for me for that time, but
Okay. No,
I have this boss I
No.
have to, I'm not on there.
nope, you're
Okay.
not on there at all.
Okay, good. Because I've taken a lot of time and suggested things and, some of them have been good, but I think like JP thought I ought to be paid for my bird walks on Thursday and Friday. Well, that's my off time. And I'm going to do those bird walks anyway. But he said I really needed to request overtime for Ryan for that. JP says, Ryan's making some money now and he ought to be paying you to do that because it's good PR for the park, blah, 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 blah. So I sent Ryan an email and I didn't hear for the longest time. And I thought, oh God, but it's on the schedule now, overtime from 6 to 11, 2 days. So they're paying me almost $27 an hour to do
Wow.
those. I
Wow.
know. It's just amazing to me, Good Lord.
Yeah. I don't know if you'll get it next year, but
Probably not. I'm sure I
on
won't.
Thursday I have you from 12 to 2 at the native plant sale on Thursday.
Okay, that'll fill my whole day. That's good.
Okay.
I might get lunch in there. Yeah, no, that'll work.
Well,
What time
and
is our-
because,
what
I wanted
time
to
is our
make sure that
painting?
What?
What
The
time is our
painting?
painting?
3:00.
Okay, so I have a little time between 2 and
Yeah.
3,
Yes.
and it's 3 to 5.
3 to 5.
And where is it?
I don't know.
Oh. Well,
Because the original location, they
was
were
it Portage Lakefront?
Yes, I think that's
Except-
where it is.
Are you
Right?
sure? Because
No.
somehow it didn't get on the schedule one of the days, I think. I don't know. But Paul Lebowitz had reserved it for something, but I don't know if all 3, is she doing it 4 days or just twice?
Just twice.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I can
I
probably
figured
find
I'd
out.
wait until I register and then find out where it's at.
Yeah, well, I'll see her for the opening of the stuff on Wednesday.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But now all of a sudden I've got some other people who are filling in. I wanted the board members all to
Take
have
a
a
turn.
part. Take
Yeah,
a
they
turn.
should. They
They
should.
should. So I think Julie's the only person I haven't heard back from. So Brad is taking responsibility for the delivery on Wednesday.
Oh, good. I'll
So,
probably be
and-
involved in that too.
And that's a big, to me, that's a big part.
It is.
You know,
When are
I
they
think-
coming?
They're gonna come between around 9:30 to 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning.
Okay.
So it was nice that they were able to give me a nice small window.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Nobody's
unless-
hanging around then.
Yeah, so unless he's, got some emergency, he should be able to do it. And even if he delegates, it's still his responsibility.
Right.
Um,
Not that
and
he
then-
hasn't got enough right now.
Right, but he can handle that, I
He
think. We're
can.
not asking him to sit at a booth.
Right.
I mean, he is listed to sit at the tower
Is he?
Sunday morning. His name is down, well, in the book.
Yeah.
I haven't checked anything, with the registration things that have changed.
Yeah, no, I haven't either. I figured they'll tell us. He did say he was in like yesterday or day before, and it's over 600 people now. So, yeah, I know. But
Oh
I
my
see
gosh.
there was a blurb today. The IAS thing said there were still 14 seats available for dinner.
Hmm,
Yeah,
really? That's interesting.
yeah.
And I don't think I'm gonna have much in the way of Boy Scouts this year.
Oh, really?
I've only heard from one scout troop, and that's the scout troop that's camping.
Oh, okay.
And they may show up for
A
a
little
couple
bit.
of events, but they won't stay for the whole thing.
Cool.
So it's kind of interesting to be an odd year. I mean, we had so many scouts last year.
Yeah.
And this year I think people, I don't know, just not happening.
Wonder why.
So, yeah. And
Interesting.
to tell you the truth, it makes my job easier.
Oh, of course it does. Because that's kind of a thing. You've got to do this, you've got to meet their requirements.
Right. And so I'm always like, okay, are the boys getting to where they need to go?
Yeah.
And part
Are
of
we
it
getting
I
this?
had to present to them. So it does. It makes it a little bit easier.
Cool.
So
All right, kiddo.
okay,
Let me know
dear.
if you decide if you want to drink, and let me know tomorrow.
So where are you at tomorrow?
Well, I'm at the spa from 11 to 1 or something like that. But other than that, I think tomorrow's a pretty free day. I may
And
bird a little.
you're not working except for that
No, tomorrow's a day off.
day off. Oh, gotcha.
And then Saturday, I'm at West Beach. But I'm at West Beach from 9 to 5:30. I've got the middle shift, which I kind of like. I don't have to open and I don't have to close.
Oh, that's good. Are you
did-
interested in Service Berry?
I found two, but if you've got some, I'll take another one.
I'm hoping to go to the wild ones on Saturday at Oak Ridge Prairie.
Oh, okay. Well, I got two from them.
How did you get two
Loyce,
from them?
well, because I'm special. Loyce sent me a link. Remember, I think she sent it to you too, about the service berry that they had it. So I called the wild ones. What's her name? Vicky or Carol or somebody. I said, I really want two service berry. Could I please get them ahead of time? Because I know you're going to sell out and nobody can find them anywhere. So yeah, she gave me two plants, really nice plants. I planted it and a possum unplanted it. the
You
next
went over
day.
there and picked it up?
I met her at McDonald's in Gary. She brought me two, $10 a piece. How
Oh,
much better can
man.
that be? I know. So they're already
Boy.
planted in the ground.
You
But
are
I'll
a
take
lucky
another
duck.
one if they have one.
Well, because she said the sale opens up at 9. She said people
Yeah.
will be in line at 8, but she's going to be there at 7.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to get going early, get over
Yeah.
there, get my service berry, and then head to Illinois.
Okay.
I'll
So if
probably have
there's
to-
an extra one, grab one and I'll pay for it.
okay.
Certainly. Yeah, because she did tell me that. And I said, well, I live a long ways from there and I have to work. There's no way I can get there. So
Yeah.
she said, well, I'll talk to the greenhouse person because they got them bare rooted. And they planted
Oh.
them a couple
Oh.
of weeks ago. So she said, I'll see if I can do
Yeah.
that. So she brought me, they were nice looking plants.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I have to tell you that goofy looking June berry that I bought from was all knotted up. It's got leaves this year.
Mine has nothing.
Really? Oh, mine has leaves.
Mine's just
So-
a dead looking stalk.
And I understand that they really had nice plants this year. I mean,
Oh, really?
yeah, several people said, well, what a
Oh.
nice quality plants they were. So
Huh.
live and learn, I guess. But,
Yeah.
if they've got any hepatica, I'd take some hepatica. I didn't know if that was on the list or not.
Oh, hepatica.
Yeah.
I
would love
didn't look at
hepatica.
anything else on the list. I was just so focused on the service berry.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked.
Yeah.
But I've got my list from our plant sale.
Yeah. We don't have any.
No, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 things on my list. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Oh, I want to get some of those. Like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Crazy woman.
Yeah.
I need to
Well-
hire a kid who's willing to plant all this stuff for me.
We put a post down by the road with our name on it, an arrow that says Ferguson's, and I put all my awards from Shirley Hines and everything on that post. And I thought, well, maybe I'll get a coneflower or black-eyed Susan and put that around the bottom of the post.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that would be pretty.
okay, so I'll take a serviceberry and a coneflower and a black-eyed Susan.
Well, but
Wait, I can't hear you.
coneflower and black-eyed Susan we're selling at the plant sale.
Oh, are we? Okay, I'll do that at the plant sale
Yes.
for sure.
But
Cool.
serviceberry, and you're still interested in the hepatica if I can?
Yeah, if they have any.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen that in a plant sale.
I don't know. What's the one that Eric likes? He likes the what's the little soldier dude?
Dutchman's britches.
No. It's the little
So-
it's like a little cone thing. It's not a tulip.
Not Columbine.
No. It's a short little guy. It's a little thing
Trout
that-
lily.
Nope. It's got a little stem. It's got a
Oh,
little
Jack in the
flower.
pulpit. Jack in
Jack
the
in the
pulpit.
pulpit.
Yeah, I have
That's-
that in my yard. I like it.
Eric likes that one. He's planted a couple times, but it hasn't been in the right place.
Oh yeah, I've got 3 or 4 in different places, and they come up every year. They don't seem to be doing a lot of propagating, but they do seem to come back. So
Okay. Shade, right?
yeah.
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 All right, dear. I'll let you go.
All right.
Thanks so much. And
Okay. We'll
if
talk tomorrow.
anything changes tomorrow afternoon, I'll let you know.
Okay, that's a deal.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Bye.
I'll talk to you soon. All right.